We got Michael B. Jordan, the director and the star of Creed 3. And we know each other. We go way back all the way to Chad Science in Newark, okay?
Oh, the corny kid, right?
No, I did not say that. Misquoted for sure.
I heard it.
No, you did not hear me say. I said we used to make fun of the name. Not corny anymore.
There are still those who are going to therapy, still trying to unpack what happened between them and a bully, to seek a way to progress and to grow out of that. Or, as in the case of so many, they internalize that. They take that with them, even into adulthood. Look at Michael B. Jordan, $50 million net worth, Oscar award winner, blockbuster movie actor.
Yes.
Still unpacking and dealing with that label that was applied to him in high school.
Yes.
So it doesn't necessarily matter how much money you make, how much status you attain to. If you have not dealt with the vibe or the intangible that was labeled or put upon you or identified during your developmental stages, even now, this is the opportunity to identify and to address that, these conversations. Because I know I'm speaking to people very specifically. Obviously, we're not going to single anybody out.
Yeah.
But when we are moved to have these specific conversations and to include these specific topics and these specific terms, we know that we're speaking to an individual, or we're speaking to a group who feels like they were labeled with this. They were burdened with this branding, and they didn't have an outlet. They didn't have an alternative. They didn't have a way forward. They didn't have a manner of education, mentorship, tutelage, you see, leadership that could assist them on their path towards mastery. Could you imagine? Because when we look at the Michael B. Jordan case study, the young lady, L'Oreal, who, went to the same high school as he, when she relates the story about what happened, she mentions, skinny kid, always carried around headshots.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Obviously, he had his own quirkiness to him, you see. His focus was on achieving entry into his craft.
Yes.
Whereas when he landed the role in The Wire, you saw him as this wiry kid, the small-framed young man who was budding in his acting career.
Yes.
Now, had he received tutelage, could you imagine if Deion Sanders was a coach at Michael B. Jordan's school? I'm just giving an example. Obviously, I'm wearing my Colorado gear. You see how we have to perform these thought experiments in order to bring the point home? Had Michael B. Jordan, a young high school student, Michael B. Jordan, had the mentorship of a Deion Sanders, could you imagine the trajectory? He still may have taken up acting, but he would also have athletics on his resume.
Yes.
Could you imagine the impact that would have had? Because when we look at the film,
very powerful.
Absolutely. We look at the examples that Coach Deion has. Could you imagine him in high school talking to the football team, bringing in a Brittany Renner to caution them? This is what mentorship does.
Yes.
Bringing in examples from the real world and having them speak to the potential stars, the potential high-level athletes. Had Michael B. Jordan had a mentor like Deion Sanders at his developmental stages, he would have been able to come to him and say, hey, coach, these students, man, they're calling me lame. They talk about me bringing my headshots to school. What should I do? Deion Sanders would have spoke life into that young man.
Yes.
He would have spoke the level of motivation unlike anyone else could have. You see? Because Deion Sanders would have said, you know what? I was once in your shoes and I had to make a decision.
Yeah.
Do I receive that label and internalize it? Or do I take that and use it as fuel for the fire? Can you imagine those speeches, those talks they would have had?
And Deion Sanders, I heard something about him. He wasn't Neon Deion at first.
Right.
He was not Neon Deion at first, but no telling who his mentor was.
Yes, and here's the point. Let me bring it home. Let me land this plane really quickly, because we see that Michael B. Jordan still is in and out of relationships. We don't know ultimately what happened with Lori Harvey. All right. I mentioned that name because you know how I feel about her. All right. Shout out to Lori Harvey. I don't care what nobody say about her. In any case, there's a reason why it didn't go as planned, as he had planned. He, proposed and it eventually dissolved. Subsequent relationships went the same way. A relationship that he had prior to Lori Harvey went the same way. Now, when we are observing a case study like this, we have to look at the common denominator. You see? Either he is choosing someone that's incompatible. Either his vetting process is off and or non-existent. Or he is trying to fulfill something that was lacking during his developmental stage.
There's something in him, in my view, still might be that guy who was called lame in high school. He still might not have got over it. He's still thinking about it, I mean, if I were to talk with him, I'd say, look, man, you were there, but you're not there any longer. He has to have, like, if we're going to let's get more metaphysical on it.
Let's go.
Somebody has to deal with his inner child. His inner child, he's still having some pain from that. L'Oreal, and just how he said it, how he looked at it, he still feels something. And that's something that you have to deal with. That's something he's going to have to deal with. Seriously, he's going to have to deal with. I mean, and see, that's a lot of people, men and women, no matter what you see, a lot of people have something that goes back to them. It takes a whole lot to break that inner child, that child that's still wounded and stuff.
Yes.
Psychologists, they would be like, oh, okay, they would probably work with him and no telling who he might be talking to outside of that. Shoot, they like, oh, you're a millionaire, you all this. Let me work him.
You know how, I'm chilling with fine shit, right? We chop it up, we talk, we get into various subject matters. One of the things that we talk about is the culture. All right. Just like I have my top 5 rappers, she has her top 5 rappers. Now, what we have in common is the rapper LL Cool J. He's number 5 on my list. He's number 6 on her list. She puts Lil Wayne in front of LL Cool J, but that's neither here nor there. Here's the point. I brought up Michael B. Jordan in the conversation because my little fine shit, she was a cheerleader in high school. So she was part of the popular kids who would label, others. All right. And I asked her, what do you think about Michael B. Jordan? And this was a cold piece. All right. This was a cold piece of information, right? We brought up videos of LL Cool J and compared them to videos of Michael B. Jordan. And the contrast was immediate and sobering.
You have to use the bathroom.
Yeah, that's not fun.
It's not, especially in the middle of the night. You're trying to sleep, you got to wake up, use the bathroom. Like, oh my God, I'm just going to hold it. And it's like, it just doesn't quite work out.
Well, success to me is living a complete life, being rich physically, mentally, and spiritually, and dying rich physically, mentally, and spiritually.
You see? The videos that we brought up were just personal interviews at home, interviews, they do for promotion or just having podcast conversations. When Michael B. Jordan isn't acting, isn't in character promoting a role, and he's just himself, his energy is the sort of energy that you would apply to a nice guy. You see? But when we talk about an LL Cool J, how he's just chopping it up in interviews, talking about motivation for the various songs that he wrote, the beats that he had, or just enjoying life in general, that energy is that of an OG. You see? LL Cool J will always be a player. Players never hand in their card. They graduate through the spaces of Mac and now OG. So it was just an interesting experiment that we did that showed a complete contrast in energy and personality and expressionality when it's not in the space of acting, because you can only act for so long before your true self emerges. And like what happened in that particular interview, like you mentioned, Ram, there is evidence of a childhood wound that has not been properly addressed, assessed, and healed. You see, this is just one example of why mastering the intangibles is how players win.